we'd send out a patrol. And why we had to send, well, that was my forward observer group that went out. And this one soldier, his name was Perry, Corporal Perry, got a piece of flak in his butt, and they brought him in, and I lived in a cave. I mean, the 45th had built it, and it was neat. I mean, we had, well, there was my first sergeant, my driver, and one other, I don't know, in there. And so I brought this Corporal Perry down into the cave, and he was crying, and he's gonna die and everything. It was crazy. So I had a bottle of booze, and I poured him a big shot and had him drink it, and he passed out. And end the story. He was all right the next day.
Yeah. Well, you would send out patrols to call back locations for you?
Well, yeah, right.
Okay.
We'd find out. And what happened, I don't know. I mean, there's so damn many things happened all at once that you just can't remember everything.
Yeah.
But anyhow, we survived that location, and then we got the orders to move, and we started moving, and we didn't stop until the war was over. We kept going. And what I'm about to tell you about that advance is very interesting, I think. Mm-hmm. Right here is Captain Plunkett, who was a battery commander, and myself. And that was taken on the side of the road because we had to stop because there was mines in the road. And Lieutenant Garrison was his forward observer. Oh, you don't want the picture?
Yeah.
Okay. Lieutenant Garrison was a big man. I mean, big as you. And the floorboard of a Jeep and the seat should have sandbags in it. But he was so damn big, he didn't use them. When he went by us standing there beside our Jeep, he stood up, raised his hands like this, and waved to us. Went down the road approximately 500 yards, hit a mine, and to this day I can still see him flying through the air. And of course when he landed he was dead. I mean, he was killed when he hit. And so Plunkett, he left me right there where that was, and he raced down there to see what he could do. Well, he couldn't do a thing. And he parked alongside the road, and another Jeep, instead of waiting to go down the road, went out around him, hit another mine, blew a hole in his driver's head right here, and he, in a matter of 2 minutes or less, he lost 2 men, an officer and an enlisted man. And we waited, and it cleared, and so we got the okay to go ahead. So I'm in a Jeep with a radio operator, my driver, and myself, and going up to where I'm supposed to put my guns. Well, I get where I can see. There's already somebody there, and it ain't us. It was Germans. So I called back to the battery, the location, and I knew their location. I couldn't do it today, I've forgotten all that stuff. Yeah. But anyhow, I called for 1 round of white phosphorus, and it landed right in the middle of that goose egg, unbelievable. I that lucky. So the next command was fire for effect. And that's 4 105s. They raked it up and down, up and down. How much, I don't know. I can't remember how that worked. But anyhow, it worked. But in the meantime, I pulled up behind a house and a street over there. The streets were only wide enough for a buggy because they didn't have any cars on the farm places. And there was a row of houses here and a row of houses here and a fence here, and I'm looking out there. Well, I could see them, so it turned out they could see me. So the first thing you know, the mortar shell hit on the tile roof of this house, just, hell, not hardly farther than this, from me. My radio operator jumped out of the Jeep and went into the basement. And that left George Mitrovich to take my commands. And he stuttered. And by the way, by the time I got home from the army, I was stuttering listening to him. Just a joke.
Yeah.
Anyhow, that shell didn't do anything. He left the. Now this is a true story. Last Christmas, I'm talking to Mitrovich. He's in Kentucky, and at that time he told me that when they got back to the battery, some of those guys were going to shoot him. And I did not know that until just this last year. He told me then. But they didn't do it, so, but that would have been I don't know how you would handle a situation like that. But
Yeah.
anyhow, it didn't happen. But he was wrong leaving George and I to the Jeep. And, but to make a long story short, maybe it worked better because it was just the two of us and we did what we wanted to do and we did it right. And the problem. The next day, we drove up to where I was supposed to have those guns. There was no bodies, but there was quite a few bloody bandages. So I'm sure we did some damage, and we just kept on going, and that was it.